Alley for the Atlas, and he was trying to explain it to us, and he expected us. He could not get over the fact that we didn't know how to read a map. I was like, man, you are 60 something years old. Kudos to you that they were still teaching that in school. But us, we rely on GPS. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's different because we're in a commercial vehicle and we have to pay attention to bridges and small streets, dead ends, and etc. But at the same time, we're just learning, why are you so aggressive? Like, they should have been, all this stuff that he's teaching us, we should already been doing that in orientation.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? They're not expecting, see, when you're going through the 2 weeks, they're trying to weed you out to see who's actually capable of doing this shit.
That's right.
So they're not going to teach you everything you need to know before you get on that road. They just trying to see who's going to pass and see who can make it to the next level.
Right.
Then they're going to throw some other bullshit to you. So like I said, the fuckery ain't over. It continues. So anyway, he was snappy. He was, you know, he always got smart like we was supposed to know this shit. He was talking to us like we was fucking idiots. And you know, he was an American man, you know what I'm saying? But long story short, on that, to touch off that subject, we ended up stopping the truck, and I think that was the longest we ever was stopped, and it was actually for 8 hours. It was a good 8 hours. So it was like 4 o'clock in the morning we stopped, and then we went to I think like 2 o'clock the next afternoon, something like that. So after that, the guy, he the pickup was ready for us to pick up. So it was on me. Was it on me to drive at that point? Yes, it was on me to drive. So I was driving and I was doing fine. You know, I was driving at my pace. I did 63. He was trying to introduce me to the cruise control. And you know, I was like, yeah, I kind of can dig that a little bit. But every time, he didn't say nothing at the time. Like, I was always taught, going into a curve, you supposed to slow down. And then as you in it, you know, you start accelerating.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I may be wrong, but that's one habit that I have to break if that's not right. But anyway, we ended up going through Missouri to Tennessee. It was Tennessee, Memphis, Tennessee. And you know, my 10 hours wasn't up, and I was driving. Fantastic. He said I was doing good. He said, I think you guys, yeah, he said, think you guys, y'all both gonna work out this, then, and third. And he didn't get much sleep, so I think that's where most of his snappiness came from, and aggressiveness. Anyway, we got to the stop. We picked up the load. Boom, bam. I done drove through Memphis, highway traffic, city limits, and I'm going on 6 hours. Yeah, I'm going on 6 hours of driving, and this is my first day. And you know, it was
feeling comfortable.
Yeah, it was feeling comfortable. So boom, we pick up the load, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, guys, you know how much time they giving us to deliver this?" And we was like, "How much time?" He said 4 days. We were going from Memphis all the way to Salt Lake City. So we was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool.
We got enough time."
Yeah. He said, "Well, hell no, we're not gonna do this shit in 4 days." He's like, "Man, we're gonna get there in 23 hours." I was like, "Oh wow, okay." He was like, "Yeah, you gonna keep driving?"
Yeah, keep driving.
So shit, I'm in the truck, I'm mashing the gas, I'm doing 62, 63 miles per hour, and I'm cool. You know, I'm getting a feel for it. I'm letting trucks pass me, going across bridges, paying attention to my mirrors, my tandems, and all, etc. Making lane changes. So he got frustrated. And then this is when he snapped on me. He said, "Why are you doing 63 miles per hour?" And I was like, "Shit, that's as fast as it go." And I like to, you know, in and out. Every once in a while, I like to control the truck. And he was like, "Yeah, you gotta do 65 miles per hour." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, I thought it was governed at 63.
That's right.
He was like, "Yeah, that's right. But if you put it on cruise control, it'll go to 65 miles per hour, and you can, you know, accelerate going downhill and then get up to 70." So I'm like, okay, let me try this shit out.
It's a huge difference from 62 to 63 to 65. That motherfucker be over. And I'm like, I'm good with it going straight. But I would like turn, I would like to, I always like to get my break. I like to slow down and then accelerate. No. He was like, what are you doing? Keep the cruise control on. Take the curve at 60 miles, 65 miles per hour. Oh, hell no. Hey, the number one cause of death in truckers is rollover. I told him, I said, look, I'm new and I don't feel comfortable with this cruise control. Yeah. You're gonna have to be patient with me and let me work my way into it. He catch the attitude. He's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, this is my first day, so I ain't finna know. We were sitting there going back and forth. So I'm telling him, I'm like, man, I just don't feel comfortable. He was like, why you don't feel comfortable? I'm like, it's a big difference. I can feel it. Doing 65 miles per hour, going downhill, and then at the same time, I know the truck controls itself when you got it on cruise control. Correct. Like if a car sway over, your first instinct is what? Cover the brakes.
Cover the brake and move.
Cover the brake. Yeah. And then if you have to apply them, apply them. The truck is set up to, if a car comes over, it'll back you up itself.
That's right.
So it's new technology that I have to get used to. And, you know, I prefer to get used to it going straight. And rather than going straight, hitting the curve and just guessing. Well, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get used to it. And he wasn't having that shit. So, you know, we're going along. I started driving, like I said, around about, matter of fact, it was 5 o'clock that afternoon. And I went all the way up to, shit. It had to be late that night, around about, it was like 10, 11. It was like 10, 11. And my body started to break down. My eyes got heavy. And I was hoping that he would see the way my driving stance had changed and realize, you know, like, okay, this is my first day. I'm driving a little too long for the first day. Let alone we've been coming from school, getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Right. And
so
come back to 6.
Once again, this is all he was doing. He was just looking like, shit, if you're going to fight through it, fight through that shit, because he didn't want to drive. And I get that. But anyway, he wasn't going to let up. So I told him, I was like, man, I'm just too tired, man. I don't want to, you know, put nobody else's life in jeopardy, let alone myself. So he was like, I understand. So I'm going to let you pull over at this truck stop, and I'm going to take over. So boom, he pulls over, and he takes over. Long story short, when I wake up, I went and crashed on the top bunk. If you really drained from driving, you can go to sleep for a good 3 hours in that top bunk. And mind you, you can barely sleep on that top bunk because if somebody's hitting a bump, you're going to wake up instantly.
So every bit of that.
You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we're going. I wake up. He's still driving. And it was Alex's turn next. Now, I'm unaware of the sleeping schedule that you should have on the truck. So Alex take over, and I'm wide awoke, you know, and we're trying to get this rotation going to where I ain't mean to say his name, but I said his name, didn't I? We're trying to you know, get the rotation going where he drive and then I drive. So basically I was going to be driving at night. So he's driving and I'm not, you know, realizing that I should be asleep. And anyway, I tried to take a nap, couldn't work because I'm trying to get used to this truck. And he was still driving, and I was wide awoke. So it came back to my turn again, and it was basically the same scenario, which I was getting a little bit more comfortable with doing 65 miles per hour because we was in flatlands. It was either Wyoming or Nebraska or something like that, where it's flatlands. And you know, I was mashing the gas, I was doing what he was expecting me to do, and you know, it was mind bothering because I got 2 to